I got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the show. I'm your host, Dano, but you already know that. You guys, tonight, I got a really great guest with me now. I got Chris, and Chris comes to us from Mineral County, West Virginia. And back in June of 2024, so not that long ago, really, a little over a year ago, he had an encounter with a dogman. But this wasn't a one-time encounter. This encounter pretty much took up June through September. And I'll let Chris get into more of that when we bring him on. But first, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support on the channel. If you guys have had an encounter, you'd like to come on the show, hit me up at the Cryptid Podcast 72 at gmail.com. Again, that's the Cryptid Podcast 72 at gmail.com. And also to let you guys know, my buddy Josh from Mysteries Unknown and I, we've combined forces and we have created a website called Mysteries and Cryptids. You can find it at mysteriesandcryptids.com. We are working on a podcast to bring to you guys as well. So again, if you're kind of interested, parts of the website works. We're kind of working on some finer details to get all the quirks and everything out of there. But again, you can look at that website at www.mysteriesandcryptids.com. Guys, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring our guest on, Chris from Mineral County, West Virginia. Chris,
how you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Nothing much. Just activities died down, thank God, and just thankful to be here.
So, let me ask you a real quick question before we get started. What made you think first it was a dogman, and what were your thoughts of dogman before this encounter?
I think there was only one. I almost forget his name. There was one site that I seen dogman encounters on. It was Jeff Nadoni, and that's crazy. That's wild. And I seen Bigfoot stuff on TV and never really got into it. Never went out looking for it. But yeah, it found me.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm just going to let you go ahead and go on and get into your encounter. Again, remember, we're just two good old boys sitting here talking about what's going on, and just kind of let us know, what led up to the encounter and what happened after the encounter.
So I've neglected to mention this to one other podcaster that I went to. We have a gut pile, they call it, a dead zone where we bury our chickens. We have a lot of chickens, chicken houses, poultry houses, and cows, and even DNR would bring their deer up there, and I call it the dead zone. And I haven't been up there for years. So maybe a week prior, I went up on the four-wheeler and just checking it out, and I just took a little trip. Didn't think nothing about cryptid-related stuff. Well, and I went to the bathroom up there and then left. And for a couple of days, I didn't think nothing of it. But I'm thinking that might have been a catalyst to the next week. And but then it took me a while to realize that could have been that, because it was so unsettling and didn't seem real. Because I thought it was a person. Okay, went out to my car about 1 a.m. I forget what I was even trying to get out of my car. There was and this was June, warm night, no crickets, no birds, no toads, no. And we had a waterfall with a pond out back, and I couldn't believe that they weren't going off. So that was kind of weird. And then before I got to my car, I heard on the gravel, heavy. I said, who the heck would that be? Because they're on vacation. My stepdad, my mom was on vacation. So I was there alone. So that made it a lot more scary. And but I did have an AR and a little weak flashlight. And I was like, who's there? I got a gun, like, what are you doing? Who is it? Paused, nothing, no sound. So then I went back inside and came out into the balcony that overlooks that driveway. By this time, it was not there. It was over on the fence line, apparently, because when I shined the light, actually, I yelled again and said, we got guns. I mean, what are you trying to do here? After that, I knew that it was not a person. I shined the light real quick, and we got butterfly bushes and fence line, and this thing was tiptoeing at like 25 miles an hour, at least 15, 20, 25 miles. And it was tiptoeing, and it looked like a T-Rex. I knew its arms were longer than what it was, but it was like tiptoeing. And right then I knew that was I guess a cryptid. I was like, that's not normal. And there was no moon out, and I got some gray. It didn't look totally black, but it had gray and maybe brown, like a timber wolf or a coyote. It was on 2 feet, man. And first time I ever seen cryptid, I guess. And I freaked out and went back inside, and I had tried to get my phone out, and the flashlight, and the gun. And the gun's AR, you need 2 hands, kind of. And then I forgot to lock the door to the one porch. All they gotta do is just with a pinky shove that door in. They could be in here. Turned the lights off on the inside. I did not figure out how to turn the lights on the outside. I was kind of just house sitting. And I ended up it was like I was hunkered down in a foxhole. I don't, no disrespect to people with military, but I stood in one spot for about 4 hours, man, with that gun, with a white knuckle grip on it, phone on 911. And it was really after I figured out there was more than one, because we got a front porch and a back porch, and I could hear like claws, like but quick. And then I'd look out, and there'd be nothing there, and I was like, forget this. I can't be looking out windows right now. I'm just gonna stay hunkered down. And it was a long night, and I heard it was either their claws or their teeth on the window, like it was trying to look in, and I don't know, smile or whatever, but to show its teeth, or if it was just kind of clawing. And I said, man, there's more than 2. There's probably 3 of these suckers. So I heard something banging out at the furnace that we got out this way. So you got north, east, south covered. So there was at least 3, I think. And it took me a while to even think to pray. That's how scared I was. I thought, if these things come in here and they could just take me, break my neck, I'm gone. Or whatever. Ransack the place. And I'll never know what happened to Chris, That's what I was thinking. And didn't record much until about 3:30, 4 o'clock, when I tried to settle down a little bit. I'm shaking. And I got a smell of for hunters, when you gut a deer and you do it the wrong way and cut the stomach, colon, or whatever. It smelled like that. I didn't get a wet dog smell. It smelled like that and blood, feces. And this was through in the house. I was like, man, they got to be close. Good gosh, the rest of the night was kind of a blur. I was in one spot for 4.5 hours. Till daylight. On the neighbors, we only got 2 within a mile radius. But the closer one got up and went to work, and I heard like a yip or like a grunt, between a yip and a grunt. And I was like, maybe they're gonna leave. Maybe they're gonna leave now. So I don't have too many videos or audio of that, but I have some. And I think what started that was me urinating on their feeding ground.
Hey, real quick, Chris,
Yes.
is there any way you could like stabilize your camera?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good, buddy. Perfect. There we go.
Shaking like a daggone leaf, huh? So, but when I seen it, it was not a Bigfoot. The tail, I think it was not like hanging out real long. I think it was more bushy. But I did not get a clear view of that tail. But I think its head was bigger with a snout and walking like a T-Rex, tiptoeing, but going like fast. And then God knows what the other ones looked like. And the next morning, I didn't sleep 1 second. I waited till about 8 o'clock or so. And I went out and I was scanning and I was looking for them. And I swore I seen them, one of them behind a tree, peeking out. And then they'll just go to another tree and just like, it's crazy. And I got a picture of one of them.
Which one do you want? I got this one here.
Nope, that was actually after.
Okay. Then how about this one?
Yep. And if you can zoom in on that,
I wish I could, but
there's the ears, and it's got its fingers
Yep.
on the other side of the tree. So I don't know if it was going to that tree, peeking out, but I usually don't take pictures for no reason, and I'm pretty sure that was my issue. Is it's more spiritual, more flesh and blood. I think they're both, but yeah.
Yeah, let me kind of describe it here if people are having a hard time seeing it. If you look at the first green branch that's coming down from that pine tree, if you look right underneath that on the left-hand side of the tree that's in the forefront, there's the face. You can see the eyes, the snout, and then if you look just to the left, about middle of the tree trunk, you can see look like fingers are getting ready to be wrapped around that tree trunk.
Left hand. Yep.
Okay.
Now I did that one pretty quick, but that was pretty much the gist of it.
Okay, and then what happened after that?
They hung around, I think, at least for a week, knocked stuff over. I'm thankful they didn't kill the dogs when they got back from vacation because they took the dogs. It was almost, it was so fear based that there was no reason why, unless it was me urinating on their feeding ground. There's no other reason why they would be harassing. And actually, I got a picture of out front. There was a mirror that my mom made, and she had like flowers and moss around the mirror. That sucker was ripped down. And then In the screen, 7 feet high, there was claw marks. Things were knocked over from the inside of the porch. You'd have to see it. And I documented everything. I was like, people are gonna think I'm crazy, but so yeah, I got a lot of evidence, and the noises that they can make are unreal. I think they can mess with your phone, and that's like Bigfoot. Because I've had multiple frequency changes for no reason. Just it was almost like because I started getting into it a little too much and like wanting to figure out, what's going on, and I would turn it towards the woods on my phone, and it would, and it would stop. It would stop, and I have a couple other pictures, but I'm not positive that they were pareidolia or real or not.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up some pictures that you
Okay.
you sent me, and they may not be in the order of,
Yeah.
of the events that happened, but what I would like for you to do is just kind of walk us through the picture and then kind of tell us the encounter or the experience of what happened around that picture. Okay.
Yes, sir. This is a bit. I think this is Bigfoot, and I got two different pictures of it. And it moved. This might be a whole nother episode because
Okay. Well, then we'll go back to the very first one I showed. Because this one, when I really studied it and I looked at it, I can definitely see.
this scared me.
Yeah.
I'll have to check the date on that, but that scared me to death. And
So
I
what
yeah,
happened around this picture? Like, where were you at to get this picture,
in my room,
and exactly what led you up to take this picture?
and I got two windows, like a bigger one and then an octagon one. The thing is, this octagon window is like 8 feet, and I was looking up Scott Carpenter, rest in peace, and I would start with Bigfoot and Dogman, recording, like put it on my windowsill with the screen and just see what happens. Because sometimes I can feel it, like an electricity, a vibration. There's something wrong, and I've caught a lot of crazy audio. And that one, I was just taking pictures like blindly, and I never thought I would see that. It reminds me of a demonic thing, but
Mhm.
it looks like a pit bull.
Yeah,
But what's it doing there?
an 8 foot tall pit bull.
Right.
Yeah, and
The
you
other one, I'm sorry. The other
no,
one looked like I told Tony Merkel. It kind of looked like the Amarillo, which I don't know if that was debunked or not, out of the zoo. But its legs, I think, looked more human-like. But the one I seen, it was haunched like a dog. It just kind of had that look. So if you ever look at it it did kind of look like that.
no, you said
And
the Amarillo, the Amarillo.
zoo, it's been it was probably before my encounter.
Like,
It
what
looks like
y y I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Do I look up the Amarillo Zoo, or was there, like, a Dogman encounter?
at the yeah outside their fencing.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
But
You also sent some really interesting um, track pictures. We're gonna look at this little one here first. Now, whose hand is that right next to it?
that's mine.
Okay. And what was your impression of what that was?
And that was at the creek. Not Patterson Creek, but a little creek down here. Well, there's no big dogs around that, that anybody has. I just, I take pictures of everything. But it looked a little off, and that was just something that I put out there. But
Well, that's a pretty big print because you got your fist right next to it. So,
yeah,
uh, I've
would
seen
you sure to?
coyote.
Sorry,
I said I've seen coyote, and there's no way I've never seen a coyote track that big.
yeah.
And you're asking, did I see the what?
Um, or show the with the three. It
So
goes to yes.
this one. I wish I
I
could. I
got
wish I would have blown that one up. But I can definitely see.
that was wild.
And where was that taken at?
That was taken right out here.
No, was this
Nothing.
taken after the encounter, like
Mm-hmm.
the next morning?
Mm, no, I think it was like a week after, actually. And somebody said that's like a mutated Bigfoot or something, or that's nobody had really an explanation. I think I even showed Meldrum at the Bigfoot Festival
Mm-hmm.
that I went to this past year in West Virginia. Rest in peace. And he said he's only seen that like one other time.
And what was his impression of it?
He kind of was skeptical. He didn't know. And he had people lined up talking to him. I just wanted to show you this. Um, because I know we didn't do it, and there's no machine around here that do it. Because sometimes when you're mowing grass and you make a turn, and it'll make a impression or something,
Mm-hmm.
but not that. Uh,
And then you sent me this one. This is a pretty nice one.
Yep, long claws.
And where did you find that one?
That was near the other one that by the creek,
Okay.
maybe a
Same day.
100 yards.
Same day.
Mm, I have to look.
Okay.
I got the dates on. Dude, there's so many. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this one looks like it's 12, 10, 24. I mean, if I just look at the number that's, and then the first one I showed with your foot standing next to it, it looks like it's 11, 27, 24.
Okay.
So, so, after you you had that encounter that night, and what else happened after that encounter?
Um. Well, I started wanting to document. Like I said, I put the phone out. If I was in bed, I just had it to my side. If I knew something was going on or heard stuff, turn it on. Sometimes nothing, but a lot of times I would catch something. And there was just footsteps that'd be so quick, a lot of pounding, a lot of banging on the windows, on the walls from the outside, and a lot of sounds. So many sounds. Like I got some of them listed here, and my phone, it would mess with my phone. It felt like, and I felt infrasound to where And the video that I had before that, it was like a deep, and then I was so scared, and I could feel my hair stand up, and like I couldn't move. Um, what it was, which one, I don't know. I think they migrate. At least I don't know. I think some of them migrate through here. But we took that waterfall and fountain and all that out just so that they don't have a place to drink water there. I mean, that's how they lock their doors every night now. They believe me a little bit, but most people don't believe me. But
Okay. So I have a few audio that's been sent to me, and I've
oh,
also got some infrared that's been sent to me. Now, and I have a video I'll show you as well. Now, I I don't want to upset you. I don't want to bring any anxiety. So, again, what I like to play for you is a what is believed to be a dogman howl that was captured on a Ring camera. And would it be okay if I played that for you?
yeah.
Just let me know if you've heard this sound.
Here we go.
Wow. No, they've been very sneaky. I haven't heard too many of those.
Okay.
Um, uh, yeah, very few. And the one time that I did, it sounded like a rooster, a human with that deep, and I don't know, something else mixed with it. I've heard
Now,
that once, but not. We don't hear too many.
how about something like this? Now, I know what this sound is, but some people said that have heard it sounds like something else. But I believe the person that sent it to me, it is what they say it is. But let me know if you've heard something like this or similar to it.
Yep, I got that on my phone.
Okay.
Uh, eight, eight,
Okay.
more shorter. I think for some reason the dog man they're sneakier. At least around here, they don't want to make themselves known as much. But then November or so, it was Bigfoot, and they do like grunts and
Hmm.
like some kind of. It sounds like a drum beat, but it's with their mouth.
Hmm. Yeah.
Crazy. But I haven't heard too many. Loud. That sounds loud, but
Now, I have a video here that was sent to me by um, one of my co-hosts when I do live shows. Uh, her name's Maggie. She lives in Michigan, and she has some property up in Michigan. And one thing they like to do is they like to go out and ride side by sides. Her and her girlfriends and her husband, and now I've heard eye shine from dogmen to be from greenish to yellowish. Um, I've seen deer eye shine, and it's similar to some extent.
mhm.
But normally, if a deer sees you, a deer normally will get out of the area pretty quick. Even if they hear like you're side by side running up, or
Oh
they'll
yeah.
deer tend to leave the area as soon as possible.
But if you're shining light in the dark, they'll just stand there sometimes too. But,
Yeah. So check this out.
uh,
It just blinked, Abby. It's green-eyed now. What the fuck is it? Whoa. What are we dealing with? Are you ready to move? You ready? Yeah, there's no eyes in.
wow.
So one, deer's eyes are more on the sides. I'm going to come back on camera with you. So deer's eyes are more on the side.
Hmm.
Those were head on,
Yeah.
just like a dog. It blinked and it also followed their movement. So now, what led her to go out and to film this is because in the area that they're in, she found massive canine prints. And she wanted to document some stuff. So,
In Michigan?
yep.
Oh, yeah.
So my question is, had you seen anything like that, similar to that, in and around your property?
Actually, only once like that. I tell you, the time between, now this gets to the maybe a spiritual aspect, but orbs.
Mm-hmm.
After the Dogman stuff, couple weeks, they'd knock stuff, break stuff. They wouldn't leave too many tracks, and we had a drought back in. If you remember, man, it was dry, and if something left a track, you knew that it was big. But there's only one time at night that I seen, and it was before the Bigfoot stuff. But then after the Bigfoot encounter, I seen two eyes like this, and then turn vertical, like it turned its head,
Mm-hmm.
and then dropped straight down, and then blinked, and then was gone. It was 5 a.m., so I couldn't. I was going to work, and I got that on camera, just a glimpse of it. When I tried to zoom in, the eyes were not there. I don't know why. When I zoomed out, you could see them. That freaked me out. But yeah, another thing that I like to mention that I can, where they've stepped in our yard, it doesn't grow back. A lot of it does not grow back. You could see a path, like it ain't from deer. And lately I haven't found too many, but the dog man, they have some kind of protruding, whether it's the pinky part or the thumb part, and they'll put, go down on the, you know, tiptoeing kind of, instead of their whole foot, like Bigfoot's got the whole foot kind of. And I've got stuff that I can't explain that it has that with claws digging into the dirt. Yeah, there's probably 400 pictures that I got that, and maybe only 200 are actually legit, but still. Um, yeah, I just, yeah, it's mind blowing to me. And um, can I talk about the 411 at all?
Mm-hmm. But how often would they come up to your house
Okay,
and
so
knock or scratch or?
they were on the porch at both porches. I think they even came in the screen door. The doggy door was ripped open and actually got hair samples of inside the doggy door around the screw that was like wrapped fur.
Mhm.
And I don't know how the heck, because we only got a little Deshaun Shih Tzu that's white, cream colored. And I got that stored away, you know. I don't know where to send that type of stuff, but uh, maybe for a week or two at the most, they'd be kind of harassing, throwing mulch, not rocks, because we got mulch all around the house. So you'd never be able to tell because it would just fit right in with the mulch. And I've got video or audio of them running away, just quick as you could ever imagine. And a lot of times they don't leave tracks. It's it's weird, but it's so dry. This is the drier part of West Virginia. Um,
What is the most aggressive that they've ever gotten towards you or the property?
yeah, probably that first night. Um, then I went back up to the gut pile area, and I had my night vision goggles in, and I was gonna stay. I was gonna stay there overnight because you got animals, you know, mainly vultures, but couldn't do it. I was hearing stuff that, um, and mainly I think Dogman mimic a lot, but Bigfoot they mimic owls, crows, whippoorwills. I mean, I think that's facts.
Mhm.
I don't know how they do it. Well, they got a tongue and lips, I guess. Um, but yeah, the dog man, it scared me to death, and that's what they wanted. And then with the Bigfoot, I don't know. Um, I guess it died down on the fear level, but they would do things that were unbelievable, and it would take me another half hour to tell you about that. But
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back for your Bigfoot encounter. I definitely want to hear. Like I said, I didn't want you to feel rushed to tell one story to get to another one. Um, I wrote down some questions,
cool,
if you don't mind.
yeah.
So the first one I have is: had you ever heard of Dogman encounters or legends in that area before your encounter, or was this completely unexpected?
Never. And I in my first Word document that I typed up, took me months to get the nerve to do it. Um, I said, you know, even the elders around here, they wouldn't even talk about it. Now, I haven't asked too many, but you know how older country folk can be.
Mhm.
It could have happened 30 years ago and they just want to forget about it.
Yeah.
And stepdad and mom don't want nothing, don't want to hear about it. That's just entertaining evil.
Yeah.
That's how they feel about it. And I'm like, I'm trying to get to the facts. I'm trying to expose what's going on here. And I hope that it stops. And it has died down. But um, the dog man were definitely more they fed off fear more.
Yeah.
And the Bigfoot was just kind of messing around.
Yeah.
And then if you leave something out for them, which I did, or whistled out to them, play guitar to them, probably wasn't the smartest idea. They might have liked it, they might have not. And but they'd come up to the window, and by the time that I get out of bed and get to the window to ever, if I ever did try to look, Nothing's there. Trail cam, I do have something very big and furry on the trail cam, and it's like the back of it, and then it's just gone. And then there was another time that it ran. It was so quick that, and it was I had it 4 feet up, not real high, but it was right at our walkway between the driveway and the back porch, and it was furry and dark. And then one or two other times I got things that seemed paranormal.
So
Yeah,
my second question is, now I know you kind of described it, but let's kind of get in a little more detail on the ones that you did see. So size wise, what approximately size wise, like height and maybe how wide was it?
there was a side view of it. I'd say 6.5 feet because I actually went out and measured the fence line and the bush that was there, and its head was a little bit over the bush, but it seemed accurately to me 6.5 feet. Maybe that was just the little guy coming into, I'm sure I know there's bigger ones out there, but
Yeah, 'cause that one picture you said your window's about 8 feet up. So we're looking
yeah,
at
that
two so far. So we got one at least 8 feet and one at least 6.5.
first one was 6.5, and that did not look like a pit bull.
Okay.
So the pit bull, I don't, you know, I have no idea. It could have climbed up on. There's a bush out there, but we'd have to see the layout of the land and the property to be able to. I'd love to take a tour or have somebody like this is where it happened here and this is where this happened. But um, yeah, and then the one that I think was before that, I was doing like a Scott Carpenter thing and looking and then taking pictures and then like looking and taking pictures
Hmm.
because I knew something was there. And I eventually found that black one,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's definitely not fake. I don't think.
Now describe like the eyes or any eye shine that you may have seen.
Well, I didn't see any the first night because I was locked down like a little wimp, and was it the next morning or the morning after that? I could see eye shine in the woods. Thought it was deer, and I did remember seeing one stand up or climb a tree. I think they climb very well. I think they're more in trees than we ever could imagine. And that was it. It was amber. It was amber colored. I haven't seen too much eye shine. I've actually seen more orbs.
Okay.
But
Um, was there anything about the way that they moved or behaved that felt more animal or more human?
the first night, I was like, "Who's this character?" Like, and then I realized that's like an animal walking on 2 feet. So he's trying to distract me, scare me, or get a vantage point. So I went inside and I found out that there was noises from each side. So they were trying to distract me and scare me. But they were there from 1:15 a.m. to 6:15 or 6:30 when it got daylight. And I heard a whimper, like this is conjecture, but like, oh, we're not gonna get him. There was one, like I said, that was making noises like sporadic, like dum, 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 dum. Like, what the heck? I ain't going out there alone. I don't know if it was just fear based, but they were definitely intelligent. There was no animal, definitely no animal. I mean, maybe they are half animal, but
So let's talk about the sounds that you've heard.
oh my.
Um, you don't have to go into great detail, just kind of a list of what we have, because you did definitely hear the footsteps. We've heard tapping.
Oh yeah, scratching, a lot of bangs. Um,
Did you figure out what they
proud.
were? Do you figure out what they were banging on?
We could tell if it was a window for sure. That was it was usually not the window. So that was usually throwing stuff or just banging on the siding on the house. And then I would hear and I got it recorded too, running away like just so quick. And that's happened multiple times. And there was a sound like it was a dinosaur. Um, it sounded like not a T Rex, but like a pterodactyl.
Like a roar or a vocalization?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I heard it, and it was on the phone. I got it in the phone. But then I was getting stuff later, messing with my phone. It would, it would switch the view, so it would turn towards me
Hmm.
without me even touching it. It would go to a static, I call it a frequency anomaly that there's no reason why it should do that except there's something externally doing that. And one's I call it a demonic typewriter. It would on my phone. It'd be like no clue. But I have so many things that, and a lot of snorts, a lot of grunts, barks, real short though, like that nobody else would hear it, but I got it captured on my phone. And not too many howls, but um, yeah, they can make some crazy sounds.
Now, you mentioned earlier that one was scratching. You could tell it was scratching on the screen.
Yeah,
Was was there any damage done to the screen?
yep, I got the picture it the next morning, and it was 7 feet, and it was like one claw that went down. And I do have a picture of that.
Okay.
Um, oh yeah, it is scary, man. I'm glad for it to be over. I think.
Now, when you said that you would hear him banging on the siding, were there any physical damage done to parts of the siding?
Yeah, once or twice. I guess they threw a rock once because there's a big hole in the. I don't know how else it would have got there. Above my bedroom window. Um, but the screen. A lot of times I'd have the window open and just a screen there, and I'd go to bed and just hit record, and you could hear them, and then like scratch but not break it, just real easy. Like
Man.
it's crazy, dude. It's been crazy.
All right, I got two more questions for you.
Yeah, give me all you.
So, what was your first reaction? Now, I know, you mentioned it was fear, but like, how did your body react? How did you feel that your body reacted when you had that first sighting and where you were pretty much that first moment?
I remember saying there's fight or flight, and then there's fright or freeze, and I was in fright and freeze. And being alone, even inside a house, there was something from all angles that's not animalistic to me. Even if it was grizzly bears. I mean, maybe if I knew they were grizzly bears, I'd be pretty scared, but I didn't know what they were. And I still don't know what their intentions were, but to cause fear. And so, yeah, fight, flight, fright.
Yeah. Okay. So again, you did find, and what I'm asking is, the next morning when you got up and you kind of peeked outside, and did you do a walk around the house?
Yep, there was bedding. There was no wind I mean, it was so dry, no wind. There was bedding. I feel like that one of them was laying there. And then yeah, stuff knocked over, and then on the porch, the back porch, which if they got through that, all they had to do was just poke open the door, they'd be inside. There was we have a grill there, and there's a container with a bunch of metal, spatula and heavy stuff, and it was all knocked over. And the doggy door was kind of ripped open a little bit.
And that's where you found the hair.
Yeah. Yep. And I still got it. Actually, real quick, this happened maybe 2, 3 months after. There was a groundhog, biggest groundhog I've ever seen, and had a puncture through its brain. Just one tooth, and its whole neck was covered in like saliva. And I ended up cutting some of that off and freezing it. That probably won't do nothing, but it was and it was left right in the middle of the road. And there's no dog. I mean, maybe it was a coyote, but
So it kind of like chased after it, grabbed a hold of it, shook it, killed it, and then just dropped it, ran off.
just one puncture right to the brain. Long tooth.
Well, I don't think it'd be a coyote. Well, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I got pictures of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot, man.
Well, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's absolutely a fascinating encounter. I can sense your fear even now. And just let you know, man. That um, it's okay to feel that. It really is. Uh, don't worry about what people are going to say or what people are going to think, because the ones who sit there and doubt you and chastise you and make fun of you have never experienced anything like this before.
Yep.
I got one other question, and this just popped
Yeah.
into my head. How did you explain the damage to your parents, your mom and your stepdad, when they returned home?
I said, well, there wasn't any wind while you were gone. I said, I don't know what it was. I was very subtle about it. And I was actually too scared to tell him. It took months to tell him that there was something off. And then when the Bigfoot stuff started happening,
Mm-hmm.
it was more obvious to
Yeah.
them. Because this was like a rare, it just seemed like a more of a rare encounter. And
Yeah.
they knew they were on vacation. That was strange.
Now, before we close
Yes,
up,
sir.
what do you think these are, and what do you think their intention was?
Well, I think in my first document that I typed up, which is all true, I think that they are flesh and blood, but there's some kind of spiritual aspect to them. I don't go too far into that, but I think that's true.
Mhm.
With no bodies, no. Um, they mess with cameras. I mean, they just know what a camera is. They either smell the batteries or they see the light. So I forget the camera. Um, um, there's a lot more to it that I'm not sure we all. There's no experts, but um, it was definitely to scare me, and I can't imagine if I went outside and tried to confront that. I'm kind of curious what would have happened with the AR, of course.
Yeah.
That I think some of these things are 8 feet, maybe even 9 feet. I mean, and I've heard they got plates or plates like an extra layer of bone here.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get them in the head, in the eye or the head if you're gonna. And I've heard of hunter stories. I can't imagine, but yeah, I think now is it a government thing? I don't know,
Yeah.
but I think they've been around for a long time, just like Bigfoot, and they're very smart. And I just try to discern um, what's going on around, what to do. I pray. I'm a Christian. I ain't perfect, but I try to put the armor of God on. Say, hey, we have dominion over these animals. They're stronger than others, but I think with the help of God, it really helps at least deal with the experiences afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. Well, my friend,
Yeah,
again, thank you so much for your time and coming on. And if you want to hang out in the lobby just for a couple minutes while I close up, again, it's okay to feel the way you're feeling. It's okay to f- to feel that fear. And again, those who've never experienced it, yeah, they're going to be the ones who are going to say, this guy's crazy or whatever. But you know, until they themselves encounter something, they're always going to be like that. So don't sweat it, man. Um,
yeah, and
I
it's
have a
still fresh. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I have a great community here. I got a lot of great subscribers. I got great members, fantastic moderators, and if you're not, send me friends request on Facebook. I'll get you in my Facebook group for the Cryptid Podcast. It's a great community. It's growing as well. And if you haven't, I'll send you a link to the channel so you can kind of check out. Just see, man, there's other people out there that's had some pretty crazy and frightening encounters as well.
yeah,
Like I had one, a lady named Chelsea who was in Iowa, and she was driving to work, and she sees this head pop out of this drainage ditch. It's like, I think 7, 8 feet deep, but she sees this head pop up out of this ditch, and this thing comes up out of this ditch, and it looked like a hyena.
mhm,
And as she drove by it, it started chasing her vehicle, and she looked over, and it's looking in her passenger side window, keeping up with her. So
crazy.
you're not the only one. So you're not alone. You're not on an island by yourself. You have a ton of people. There's a lot of people here that'll support you. So
Well, I appreciate you, brother.
yeah, man. So you stand by. We're gonna close this up. Hold on a second here. You guys, that's Chris. And here's the thing. You could tell in his voice this is still affecting him. It's not something that happens and you just forget about it. You guys, it's something that lingers. I mean, days, months, years, decades. I personally don't know what Dogman is. I really don't. I've never encountered one. I've heard there's been a sighting of one not far from my house, maybe 25, 30 minutes away. I don't know. Do I want to see one? Yes, I do. But from a distance, I'm using binoculars, spotting scope, something like that. I don't want an up close and personal encounter like Chris has had. But you guys, again, that's the show for tonight. Thank you so much. If you guys have had an encounter and you'd like to come on the show, drop me a line at the Cryptid Podcast 72@gmail.com. That's the Cryptid Podcast 72@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to check out Mysteries and Cryptids at www.mysteriesandcryptids.com. I promise you, when this thing is 100% up and running, you guys will not be sorry for checking it out, potentially becoming a member of it. We got a lot of great ideas, a lot of great things in the works for that website. As my buddy Josh always says, you guys remember, stay prayed up. And as I always like to say, remember, a legend begins with a sighting. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you next time.
I got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?